Page 29, Music Box Rock. Nothing new being presented here, but we're using a number of things we've already had. So let's look it over. I'll go through the process I used to learn a piece of music and we'll see what we get. I look it over. It's 4 lines long. 4 lines of music to learn. It's longer than that, but we'll come back to that later. They're still using treble and bass clefs. I always check the clef signs. Even though you're getting used to it, they won't always be those. So just get in the habit. And it's 2/4 time again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Eighth notes, quarter notes, half notes. Okay. Take it one hand at a time because both hands are busy. The right hand, you're here. That puts you in this position. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2. So we still got these notes and this G chord. We're just using this a lot. You'll get this a lot in music too. It's just 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Now, real quick, because I don't teach a lot of technique. These first couple of measures, I use weight to push the notes down. I'm just transferring weight from finger to finger. I'm kind of rolling here. Just kind of walking on the piano with the fingers. And the wrist will do whatever it does. I don't care. Don't stiffen up. You want a loose wrist, but otherwise, I'm just ba-da-da-da-da. That's all this is. Now, last line, they're mixed up a little bit. It's here. Here it's ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da. That's fine. Doesn't matter which fingers are being used. You can shift weight from any finger to any finger very quickly. It just takes no effort at all, and it takes no effort to push the keys down. It's just, they go down almost by themselves. It's just, yeah. Left hand, 5th finger here. That means you're in this position. It's 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Not a lot going on the left hand. So put the hands together. Well, here, and then here, and then here. These, and then these, and then these. Second line, here, here, then here. I go through and I put the hands together. And then I go back through it, wherever, how many times, hundreds of times, get rid of any hesitations. You should be able to play this part without looking at the keyboard. So far, we can do it. And once I do that, then I think of the articulation. They don't give us any, I put in the phrases. Lift up, lift up, lift up. I'm just lifting up between the phrases. The left hand, I'm going to connect it all. So when I finish the first line, I'm going to lift up the right hand, but I'm not the left hand. I'm going to connect the left hand. So it's here. Here. That's important. Right, so I'm lifting up in the right hand, but I'm connecting the left hand. It gets back to this independence of the hands. We've got to learn to do different things in the hands at the same time, and this is one of those things. It's not that easy to do at first. I couldn't do it at first. You keep at it, it comes eventually. Now, in between the stats at the beginning, you have the MF and then you have the word legato. MF has to do with dynamics. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Legato means connected. Connect the notes. I've already told you to do that. You can lift up for the phrasing in the right hand. Otherwise, you're connecting it all. Then the dynamics, we'll only give you one. That's MF at the beginning. Mezzo forte is moderately loud. That's the melody, which is here. Whatever you think moderately loud is. The left hand needs to be in the background. And they don't give you any other dynamic. Isn't that nice? Well, once you get into it and you get to feeling it, if you feel it a little louder and softer in places, go for it. Speed, allegro. Now, keep in mind the tempo isn't necessarily the speed of the beat. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times no. It's the overall feel of the piece. So when you have eighth notes, that tends to slow the speed of the beat down a little bit because you're playing eighth notes. It's here. You're going to sing it. How fast would you sing that? Here's a little thing they call the, Here's a little thing they So you have to be careful on, don't get carried away with the speed here. Just the 1, 2, that's fine. Just right in there. It's a little slow for allegro, but when you have eighth notes, it's not. So around in there. Somewhere, that's good enough for the speed. Now there's a note in the third line, last time retardando to the end. That means at that point you're going to start slowing down all the way to the end. It's like your music box is, the spring is running out and it's gradually slowing down to nothing. So the third line, the last time you play it, is here. Just gradually slow. Just gradually slow down because the music box wound down. So, looking at the road map, I see a repeat sign at the bottom. That sends us back to the beginning because there's no reverse repeat sign. So basically, we're going to play the whole thing twice. And then that note in the third line, for the second time you play it, you do that. Now there's a note at the top. There's a lot of notes in here. Play both hands 8 VA throughout. Okay. That's like the 8 VA sign with the dice line, only instead of doing that, they just gave you a note. Same difference. In other words, instead of here, you just pretend middle C is here. So you're just up here. You just slow it down. Doesn't say to get softer when you do it. If you feel getting a little softer, you can get a little softer, but you don't need to. It doesn't say anything. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Remember, 1, 2. It comes out most in the last line. Here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There. I'm exaggerating so you can hear it better. You want to feel this 1, 2, 1, 2 all the way through. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I can't slow down because the metronome won't slow down, so I can't do the retardando. I'll give us 2 counts. Now, because we have eighth notes all over the place, I put the metronome on eighth notes. So it's beating eighth notes here. 1 and 2 and. That's that. That's how fast we're going to go. Ready and go and. And 1 and